Hey guys, and welcome to another vlog. And it's been a little while since I've recorded anything. Really, it's been more time since I've uploaded. I recorded a video Friday, and I have two stupid things to report about that video. One, I recorded a video Friday, I uploaded it to the computer, or downloaded it to the computer, and then I started to upload it to YouTube, and I went about my merry way doing stuff that evening. And for some reason, I guess I was just restless, feeling impatient or whatever, and I come to the computer excuse me, and I started deleting some stuff off of the computer that I didn't need. Like I mentioned in a previous video a while back, I don't back up any of these videos. I don't save them on the camera, the SD card. I don't save them on my computer or an external hard drive. I put them on the computer long enough to upload them, and then I delete them. My computer is always running close to a full hard drive because of all the music and games and whatnot I've got downloaded on it. So, like just recently, I had to uninstall a bunch of Steam games that I never play because I was literally down to just 2 or 3 gigs worth of storage, and a 15-minute video can take up a gig. There have actually been times when I went to upload videos that they wouldn't even go on the computer because I didn't have room for it. So I'm constantly, like obsessively, deleting stuff that I don't need. And I deleted the vlog that I did at about the 80% uploaded point. And like I said, that's just ridiculously stupid to delete that before it's even done on there. Now I just sat down here after thinking for days that I didn't have that video, it was long gone, and I looked on my camera and the video was still on the camera. And I decided, you know what, it's been a few more days, I have other things I could talk about and add to the vlog, so I just deleted it now from the camera so I could start over and do this again. And I'm going to talk about the 2 movies that I watched that's going to be, down here in the title of this vlog. I'll talk about them here in a minute, but the reason why I hadn't tried to do another video or get it all sorted out sooner than this is Tuesday, July 8th. I recorded that last one on July 4th. The reason why I haven't really been gunning to do some more and get back in here and do something is because after the handful of vlogs I did recently and just in the last few weeks, I feel like I've kind of shot my load, so to speak. I expended all the major things I wanted to talk about. Not that I can't find something to talk about at any given moment. I can come up with video ideas or just do the random vlogs at any time. But because I did so much personal stuff, and I just sort of, it was like popping the plug in the sink or something, and I just let everything gush out. I kind of lost my motivation to sit down and record anything. I'd said so much stuff, and I don't know, I had things to talk about, and I just couldn't get my butt up and do it. Now, there's a lot of reasons for that, I'm sure, but one of the biggest things that's going on right now is it's summertime, and my daughter's out of school, so when she was over here last Wednesday and Thursday, she was here, right here, all day long. And we bounced off the walls together, and she wanted to watch videos, and she wanted to play with her tablet, and she kept asking if she could get on the computer, and I'm like, we have this give and take kind of thing. I let her have the console, which allows her to do videos and games and whatever. I take the computer because there's games that I can play here, and it lets us do our own thing. Yes, we don't do as much things together. We don't play a lot of games together. We've had issues trying to play Minecraft together on the 360 because of the 2 different Xbox Live accounts that I have, and it caused a bunch of problems the one time we tried to play together. And we did go outside for about an hour last Wednesday so she could run around and play, but she was bored with that, and it's like I don't feel like forcing her into things that she doesn't want to do when she's over here, but it's unpleasant in a way for both of us. It's just sitting around the house all day long. Her mom and her grandparents are so much more go, go, go people and do stuff and have things to do. It's not so much that way for me, as I've already stated a million times. So I'm way, way behind on my YouTube watching, gaming that I would like to do. It's all sitting there waiting on me. I'm just kind of in a rut, and things are kind of bogged down, and so that caused me to focus on other things. But I didn't want to get away from the videos. I have things I want to vlog about. I have things I want to do videos for, so it's time to finally get back into gear. So the original vlog and the point of this one still is to talk about these two movies that I watched last week. Thanks a lot, computer, for that. And that was Transformers: Age of Extinction, the new movie that I watched in theaters with my friend Ron. You can't see it much anymore, but you can still kind of see there. We watched the movie. It was good. Here's my thoughts on that. I'm not one of these Michael Bay haters. The guy can do whatever he wants. If he does a property like Transformers or Ninja Turtles or whatever in a way that I wouldn't like, then I just wouldn't go see it. Or I wouldn't recommend people see it if I actually spend the money to go watch it. Or, like, I got to see this movie for free. But one way or another, when it comes to Michael Bay, I'm not a guy who rushes to judgment and thinks, oh my god, this is going to be horrible. I've really enjoyed the Transformers movies. Yes, I'm a big fan of the original Transformers. I have what I consider to be the most important seasons of the cartoon, which is seasons 1 through 4. And then I have the original Transformers movie. Anything after that is bullshit to me. I don't care about any of it. I don't care about Beast Wars. I don't care about all this stuff here lately that has to do with Cybertron and like the video games that take place on Cybertron. I don't care about any of that stuff. The Transformers on Earth interacting with humans, fighting against the Decepticons, the Autobots and Decepticon clash. When they started to get into all the Cybertron stuff, that's what shut me down. So that's why the first 4 seasons in the movie are really all that matter. These new movies are a modern redo of all of that stuff without getting too much into backstory and the origins. Yes, they have the original Transformers, the creators of the Transformers, and all this kind of stuff, but it still takes place here on Earth and still has great CG, interesting stories, interesting human characters. If I had to say anything about Age of Extinction that would be like a complaint, it would be I was really shocked that they didn't even refer to Lipwicki's, Shia LaBeouf's character and his family. They don't touch on any of those people at all. They don't say that they're gone, that they've traveled somewhere else, that they're in witness protection, nothing. It's just the Transformers themselves and a brand new group of people, human characters, which includes Mark Wahlberg, who was fine. I mean, he was fine in it. Mark Wahlberg is a good actor, and he was fine in this. Maybe a little bit more of a nerdy inventor guy than what you would expect out of him. But what I had a harder time wrapping my head around was, even though he's 43 years old in real life, he has a 17-year-old daughter in this movie, and it was kind of strange to see Mark Wahlberg with a daughter who's, almost 20 years old. But the numbers add up, age-wise, it could happen. So anyway, it was a good movie. If you were a fan of the original Transformers, I guess you have to go into it with the same frame of mind you may have went into the first 3. If you didn't like the other 3 for any reason, you probably won't like this one. But if you liked the first 3 Michael Bay Transformers movies, then you're going to love this one. That's pretty much, in my opinion, it's a very overall and general statement, but that's pretty much how it plays out. So that was cool, and then, like I said, I went with my friend Ron, and after the movie was over, we stood outside in the parking lot for a couple of hours, and that's where I was getting at with this. If you can kind of make out where I was wearing my sunglasses and my hat. but I got a sunburn on my cheeks, a little on my forehead, and I had the raccoon thing going on here, and my arms were burnt, my legs were burnt. I was wearing sandals, and the pattern of the sandals left a sunburn right there on the top of my feet. And I'm not sure if you can really see it here, but just a little bit on my nose is still a little red and kind of tender. My neck there, it's darker colored. This is my normal white pasty color, and then I got a little bit of sun on top of that. Big whoop. When I filmed the first recording of this video on Friday, it was really pronounced, and now it's not so much. So the reason why I vlogged on Friday instead of Thursday after the movie was because I had rented a movie on Vudu that I wanted to watch first, so I could make this cover 2 movies. And that movie, as you see down below in the title of this, is Eurotrip. Why Eurotrip, you may ask? Well, I used to be a pretty big fan of, what would be considered the raunchy teen comedy movies. Stuff like American Pie and Eurotrip, Road Trip. I don't know, there's a lot of other ones, including American Pie, which went for 7 different movies, even though 3 of them were like straight to DVD, straight to video crap fest, I'm sure. I've only seen the first 3. I haven't even seen the reunion one, and I haven't seen those other 3 movies. But Eurotrip was one that I hadn't seen, and I don't know, I think it was something about Michelle Trachtenberg. Is that her name? Something like that. Saw her on something, and I thought, why does she look so familiar? And I remembered her picture in the advertisements for Eurotrip. So I was just like, you know what? Is it on Vudu? I've got a couple of dollars of credit. I want to rent something. And sure enough, it was there. I was able to rent it. It sat in there for probably 2 weeks before I went on Vudu again. And I was like, oh crap, I've got about 10 days left to watch that. So on Friday, after work, I sat down and watched it. And so my thoughts. As for the movie itself, it was okay. It had some laughs. It had some good parts that, were like really chuckle-worthy, and then it had some parts that really fell flat. It had kind of a typical story for a lot of those raunchy teen sex comedy movies. A guy screws up, thinks that his pen pal in Germany is a dude, and when he tells them that he just broke up with his girlfriend, they want to come visit him in the U.S., and he's like, oh, it's a creepy stalker because he's got this friend who's feeding him this crap. And he's like, no, don't come back, don't ever talk to me again. And then his little brother finds out or informs him that he's been calling this person Mike when actually their name is Mika, Mika. And it's a girl. And there's a picture, and that's her, and she's hot. And he's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then all of a sudden he starts thinking about how well they connected, and he thought it was just a real good friend. And now that he realizes it was a female, he's like, well, maybe this is the one for me. So he decides to go to Europe and try to track her down because she's now blocked his email, and he has no other choice but to try to find her and explain to her, what happened. So shenanigans ensue. In Europe, London, Paris, Amsterdam, a couple other places, and they even end up in Eastern Europe at one point, and it's all kinds of silly stuff that goes on. It's a really good cast. I liked all the characters who were in it, liked the way everybody played their parts, but the writing was weak at points and just kind of left me being like, Sometimes I was laughing almost nervously over how silly and stupid some things got. But in the end, I liked it. It was okay. It doesn't measure up to the American Pie movies. It doesn't measure up to what I guess I would consider my favorite raunchy teen comedy of the last 20 years or so. Because when I was thinking about this in the beginning, I actually thought something incredibly stupid and naive. I was like, yeah, American Pie was the movie in which this genre was born with. And then I had to give myself the old palm to the forehead when I remembered that no, National Lampoon, who I believe is who did Eurotrip, they've been making raunchy teen sex comedy style movies, or just raunchy comedies in general, with a lot of TNA and a lot of sex jokes and whatnot. They've been doing them since at least the 70s. I mean, Animal House, just all kinds of that. American Pie, I think, modernized it and brought it into today, and brought it to the forefront because of how popular that movie was, the original movie. So ever since American Pie came out, there's been like a certain group of movies that have come along, and my favorite of all those style of movies, especially the road trip style ones, where the people take these trips to meet up with somebody or something like that. My favorite one is this movie from a handful of years ago called Sex Drive. It was done by MTV, and I remember the first few times I saw advertisements for it, that name, I couldn't get over that name, Sex Drive. I thought, man, this sounds like a porn. This is not the kind of movie I'd want to walk into a Walmart or a Best Buy and say, hey, do you have the movie Sex Drive? Sadly enough, I went to Best Buy when I bought my copy of it. But that was because they had an exclusive version with an extra disc. I'm not even sure if I ever watched it. But I watched the movie and I really enjoyed it. I think it was probably the one movie in this genre that I got the most laughs out of. And I enjoyed all the characters, and I enjoyed the story, and even though it's stupid and farcical, it was good. So there's a recommendation from me. Watch the movie Sex Drive. If things like American Pie, Road Trip, Eurotrip, if any of those kind of movies interest you and you haven't seen or heard of Sex Drive, check it out. Alright, well, I think that's enough rambling for me. I'm going to try to upload this vlog without deleting it in the middle of the upload, and we'll see you next time.